This is When the Fuck Did I Become Old? The fun, edgy and unapologetically honest podcast about the experiences of aging. And as the name suggests, nothing is off limits. I'm your host, Jo Parker.
And I'm Kev.
And today what I wanted to talk about is our attitudes to change, because they are different. But in particular, using our attitudes to AI, because everything is changing because of AI, and how we differ and why we differ. So in my opinion, AI is coming, it's coming fast, and it could be dangerous. But I don't think you agree with me, do you?
No, I don't. But I don't take it as seriously as you do. And I'm a bit more like, for those of you who watched the Big Fat Quiz of the Year, which we saw.
I fell asleep.
You fell asleep?
Yeah.
Big Fat Quiz of the Year on Channel 4. They had this brilliant clip of Boris Johnson talking about AI. And ChatGPT.
Yeah, he did.
So, I've never used it, right? You use ChatGPT. So, I mean, my first confession has to be that I'm a bit of a Philistine on the AI topic.
Okay, but you're a bit of a Philistine. Does that mean that you are skeptical because you don't know it? Or is it because you don't like change? Because you don't like change.
That's true. So why? Well, I am a bit skeptical, but I mean, so AI to me only manifests at work in what I would call productivity tools, right? So there's stuff that does transcripts of Zoom calls, etc., which it gets half wrong half the time. Developers use it a lot. It helps them do like the first generation of particular code modules. But I mean, I don't write code anymore, so that's not really much use to me. So the productivity automation tooling side of life, I don't get massively excited about. And it doesn't really hugely change my world. But I get that I should probably know more about it than I do. But I just don't know that I really care that much yet. Like, I haven't seen a capability that it's got that's particularly relevant to me that makes me go, yeah, I'm excited about that.
So our generation and Gen X, and we grew up with no mobile phones. We had to go to a phone box if we were out. We had no mobile phones. We grew up with black and white TV initially, and then we went into colour TV. We then had one or two channels to choose from, and now it's streaming whenever you want to do it. And we were, we've gone through all those changes, and they were slow. So the black and white TV then became colour TV. Then we had Channel 4. Then we had Channel 5. And then we were able to record things on a video recorder by pressing two buttons. And then we were able to set the video to record when we were out. And so everything has changed, and you've adapted. So
and then
why?
You had Sky.
And then we had Sky, and then we had internet, and we used to write letters, and we had.
Do you remember on the VHS topic? Yeah. I don't know if you ever had one of these, but there was a phase where you used to get a pen that came with the video recorder. It was the beginning of OCR, optical character recognition, and you could. We had one. It was a Panasonic. You could swipe this pen across the radio times against a barcode for each program.
Wow.
This was huge because you used to have to set the start time and the stop time of the recording, right? And the channel, you had to set that as well. Now you got the pen and you swiped it on the radio times, and it told it what the start time was and the stop time and the channell. Anyway.
So what were your
Our kids have never even seen that.
No. What were your beliefs then of the internet? Because the internet is something that was never there, and now it is, and now we use it all the time, and it's so prevalent. We have Wi-Fi. We use it all the time and everything. But there was a time when people were saying it's never going to catch on.
Yeah, well, I can remember not having I can remember people going, "What, you should have a PC." And I can remember probably like late 90s, I think, going, why would I have a PC? Like, what would I do with it? Oh, you could do spreadsheets. I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with a spreadsheet at home? I don't need a spreadsheet. Says the man who spends his entire life now at work doing spreadsheets and PowerPoint. So I couldn't, but you didn't have broadband. You didn't have any of that stuff, right? So transmission of data was impossible. There was no there was nothing to look at. Like there was no graphical interface for the web at that point in time. So it's like, well, what the hell would you do with an internet? And 10 years ago, I don't know if you remember this, they were talking about the Internet of Things.
The Internet of Things?
Yeah.
No.
So that was all about home automation, right?
All right.
That was about your fridge and your oven and your microwave all communicating with each other because they could communicate over Wi-Fi, right? Now, you probably don't even realize this, but our microwave is connected to the Wi-Fi at home.
No, I didn't know that.
I don't know what it does. And it's never done anything useful for me.
Oh, I don't know.
So even the Internet of Things, like they talked about the fact that, your fridge would auto order your food, right? And it would work out you'd run out of butter. And, it would place an order with Ocado or Waitrose or whatever. Well, it's not happened yet. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. The home automation thing, okay, we've got a burglar alarm, fair enough.
Yeah.
That can do things over the broadband. I'm not sure I'm really that excited about it. And I've never used the Internet of Things connected microwave either.
Why?
I don't even know how to do that.
Is that because you don't like learning about change? I mean, at some stage, you learn how to use a mobile phone. I remember when we first doing texts, you had, instead of having a keypad, you had you had to A, B, C, D, and you have to press that one till you got the letter U, and then you press another one till you got the letter. It took forever to send a text, but I learned how to do it.
So that is late 90s. That is definitely Nokia territory.
It's Nokia territory, but it's all about learning new stuff. Now, is it because you don't like change, or is it because actually you just reached an age stage where you think, fuck it, I don't need to know what's coming?
I definitely, there's a fatigue factor, right? Isn't there? Right. So as you say, we've been through a series of, we and generations literally just behind us by like 16 months or whatever, the Gen X people, they've all been through this entire analog to digital conversion and been through a period of time when nobody even knew what a computer was or had one, to everybody having a computer and now everybody having tablets and mobiles and all the rest of it. Yeah. There's only so many times I can re-enthuse myself to learn new things, and I kind of run out of enthusiasm, I think. And if there was something out there where you kind of go, wow, that's an amazing capability. Why haven't I got that capability in my life? I might get excited about it, but I can't quite work out what the capability is that I should be excited about
for AI
on the AI front.
All right.
And the basic sort of productivity tooling that we've got at work, I'm not sure I can be asked about really, because it's kind of, what it does is it gets you from like 0 to 30 or 0 to 60.
The AI that you're using at work.
So it's stuff that will get you from nothing to something. Yeah. And everything is done on a human in the loop basis, right? Which is that it'll do something, the human then needs to do something else to it, right? So there's still expert judgment required to be applied to it because the data is not always right. Yeah. And the output isn't always right. So you ask it to do something like transcribe minutes from a meeting. They won't be completely correct, right? They might get half of it right, maybe 2/3 at best. The rest you'll have to modify or redraft yourself because you got it wrong. So
you don't think AI poses a threat to people losing their jobs, because you think there's always going to have to be somebody that's going to have to overlook AI? Because if you do, I think
but the job loss is selective, right? So because it does the easy stuff, what I would argue is the easy stuff. It does the easy stuff, right?
Yeah.
So if
in your opinion,
in my opinion, right? So if you're writing software, if you're creating management presentations, it will now do the easy part of that job. There's still got to be a human at the end of the day to finish it off.
But it is getting more and more sophisticated. You know that.
It is. But what that's doing is it's changing the profile of the person that you need at the end of that chain, right? And if all you ever did was the easy stuff, then the easy stuff's being commoditized. But that's forever been the case, right? So that's all the way through the Industrial Revolution. Anything you ever did that was easy, whether it was physical labor or whether it was office work, anything you ever did that was easy got commoditized. We used to have a world of typing pools where there'd be 150 typists. We don't need that anymore. So why? Because just putting things on keyboards is easy, right? And you can automate that. So obviously there's going to be automation, right? AI just is, in my view, is another variant of automation.
Right.
And so
So did
that
you,
stuff
do you
will get
think,
commoditized. It will either get automated completely or it will get moved offshore. But the human work, undoubtedly, I do buy the fact that if you want a career for the future,
yeah,
you absolutely have to understand AI,
right,
Because you have to know how to deal with the output of it and work out what's right and wrong about that. And so the analytical part, the critical thinking part about what to do with it, and people talk about AI hallucinations, right? About how the fact that you can ask AI search engines stupid questions, they will come back with stupid answers, some of which are just manifestly not true, right? And have been culled from some vast array of text that has been schooled on the internet. But so you have to have critical thinking to be able to say, is what I've been told correct? Is what I've been presented with real?
right.
And that's going to get harder and harder to work out. So I think there's
As AI becomes more and more sophisticated, and then the AGI is going to be where it actually, its intellect is that of a human being. So it matches us because it's consistently and continuously improving. And even as we talk, by the end of this episode, there will be some improvements on AI. The big guys, Elon Musk and Sam Altman, they also think there's a challenge here, even though they are rushing to get there first because there's a lot of money involved and because they don't want China involved. They're still worried about the abject effect of it on human beings. Now, you believe that's all media hype, don't you?
Well, so there's absolutely a risk of huge misinformation and disinformation, right? So given that, I mean, there was something in the top 50 last year, a song that was an AI generated song.
Was there?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
I found that out from somebody at work.
Oh wow.
Who has somebody in their household who works for the charts organization.
Oh,
They're
okay.
talking about the rules for what gets in the charts and what doesn't. But so I can see how there's, from the creative arts, there's going to be a debate, right, about what's real art, yeah, versus what's just computer manipulated output of somebody else's work. So you've got copyright and all sorts of problems there, I imagine.
Yeah.
So that could be a huge issue. You've got a problem with young people generally who live on their phones and just consume shit on TikTok and shit off of YouTube all the time. And if they're starting to see stuff that's not real, but that they cannot determine isn't real, okay, you've got a problem with disinformation and misinformation with that segment of the population, which is a bit dangerous.
We were talking about this last night, weren't we? We were talking about not just for the younger generation. In fact, last night when we were talking about it, we were talking about it for older generations. So you said, if I die, then would you get a me? Would you replace me with me? Could you replace me with a robot or a Siri equivalent of my voice and interact with me?
Yeah.
And how dangerous would that be to you if you don't live in reality?
So there was a photo I took of you in the summer.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just one, was it? It was several. You put them together and merged me in an AI.
Well, I saw something. I saw something advert, and I downloaded this app, and the app basically took a couple of stills of you, and then it turned you into like a sort of a 5-second animated.
Yeah, but it was
image.
much more glamorous. Okay, so she, your new AI Joe, was skinnier.
Yeah.
She had longer hair. She looked younger, and she was also drinking a fuck off big glass of wine, and I don't drink.
No,
So
I know.
Where did
I
that
didn't
come
make
from?
it do that. I didn't make it do that. Anyway, it did that, but and it was apart from the glass of champagne being way bigger than the hand or whatever, it did look a bit weird. It was quite a convincing likeness.
It was a very convincing.
But-
Obviously, if you don't know me, then that's me. But if you know me, you know actually I'm not quite all of those things.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, as it improves, I could be that, and you could then develop me.
Right. So there's different challenges, right, with different segments of the population. Then, right. So if you're looking at the what we'll call it the senior age.
We are
population,
looking at senior. We're looking.
right?
Well, we're looking at.
But not our age. I'm talking like 75 plus. You look at senior aging, right, where people are potentially in need of care, in need of companionship, etc., may or may not be going into care homes, blah, blah, blah. That can be a bit worrying, but there's areas of AI that people are looking forward to using for that element of the population around medical sensors and trip falls and that kind of stuff, where you know whether someone's glucose level's too low on a medical sensor, you know whether someone's had a fall in the home.
Are we moving on to the chip in the back of the neck type thing?
No. There's wearable.
Right.
Just like you've got a Fitbit or the Aura ring. There's wearables which will be able to tell: have you had an injury? Have you not had an injury? You know, do you need help? So I can see how those kind of like supporting old people, sort of AI enabled data. Okay, fine, you could do something around that, but the idea of the robots, the humanoid robots, and the idea of some sort of AI avatar, where worst case scenario, you choose to create the avatar in the form of your, dead spouse, right? And you then potentially live in a world where you believe the deceased individual is still alive and walking around your house with you. I mean, that could get into some very dodgy psychotic territory if you allow a whole bunch of people to carry on believing that people in their family that have passed away are actually alive and with them all the time. I mean, today you'd call that schizophrenia.
Yes.
Right? If you had people going, no, my ex-wife's still here. She's just here to the right. Look, there she is. No, sorry, she died 2 years ago. So, I mean, that's a bit worrying, because you then get into fraud, right? Where people are concerned about that dimension of fraud, where you get some old person, you get some old person who gets a FaceTime call from their dead wife going, transfer me £250,000 to the following bank account, and you've gone doolally and you go, yes. So yeah, that could be a bit worrying. But that's a different segment of the population.
You've gone a completely full circle, in as much as I think AI is a threat. You think it isn't, but then you said it could be. So,
well, it's not a threat to me personally, but I mean, I can see how there are some segments of the population where misuse of it could result in exploitation, right? And I don't think I'm in that segment. And obviously I'm sufficiently deluded to think that I'll never be there, and that I'll be fine. But
so our generation has been through quite a lot of change, and we've also been through quite a lot of threats. So I remember growing up in the Cold War and being told in any minute now somebody could press a button and we would all go bang in a nuclear explosion. We've got 4 minutes to live if we're very lucky. We also had the AIDS epidemic as well, where we were all going to die if we touched somebody with it. Now, we survived all of that. We survived other things as well, but we survived all of that. A lot of it is media hype, or was media hype at the time, but we genuinely lived with the threat of being extinct. There is a threat because some of the big guys are saying there's not enough safety around this, and that if we don't control AI, if we take the rush to get there first to ultimate control, and AI takes over, then nobody's put any safety things in situ. We could wipe ourselves out. You don't believe that?
No. So you're talking about mutually assured destruction. You're talking about.
I'm talking about AI doing, nuclear war, doing pandemic.
Which is the Skynet theory of Terminator.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't believe that for a moment. What have they? Whoever's got this grandiose theory, have they articulated why they think that's likely to happen?
Well, I was listening to another podcast, listening to Steve Bartlett, and he was talking to the person who invented AI, and I can't remember his name. He was talking to him, and they were talking about a particular experiment where just with an in theory experiment with AI that basically put it to AI that it had a choice as to unlock. A man was in a fridge of, I think it was 3 degrees, so it would kill him. And he was locked in, and the AI had the choice of to unlock the fridge and let the man out, but that particular AI would shut down, or keep the fridge locked and save itself. It saved itself. So do we panic, Or do we just do what you do and stick your head in the sand with your big other two cheeks are sticking out and just get on with our life?
I don't think I'm sticking my head in the sand. Admittedly, I'm a bit of a cynical bastard.
Yeah, really.
But any of these grandiose world domination type strategies, you kind of have to go, who wins? Because there's got to be a motivation for doing it, right?
Well, it's money.
For doing it. But money's not enough to make you go and nuke half the world, right? So
it's power and control.
But I don't think that works. I mean, we've had plenty of options. So if somebody really wanted to do that, we've had 70 years where you could have done that. We've had nuclear weapons since 1944, if not possibly earlier, actually.
Yeah.
And we've had plenty of idiots in charge of governments around the world over that period of time. We've had opportunities for mass nuclear war that have never come to fruition.
Yeah.
Right. Ultimately, now, in a world where, as we've seen with the Trump tariffs, in a world where actually you're all connected in some undesirable economic food chain, right? And so whether it be the fuel coming out of Russia, the gas pipeline coming out of Russia, for example, where that was all sort of severed, with the Ukraine war, etc., where people said, no, we're not going to import gas anymore from Russia. Or whether it be the Trump tariff thing with China, whatever way you look at it, there are levels of economic interconnection which can't be completely severed without people suffering hugely, right? So the idea that you could then nuke a third of the planet and go, don't worry, the rest of us will be all right and I'll be in charge of what's left. I think that's dispelled.
I don't think that they're coming at it from I want to nuke the whole of the world and therefore I'm going to build this thing to nuke the whole of the world.
So what's the massive AI Skynet threat?
The race to get to the ultimate AI, which is called AGI, and I cannot for the life of me remember what AGI means.
Agentic.
What?
Agentic?
I don't know. Anyway, but the race to get there, where we become, where the AI works in the same way as a human being. There's a race to do that.
Yeah.
And the race is between 7 companies, which include Claude, Grok, ChatGPT, China, and basically they are. If one steps out because they think, it's too dangerous, there's going to be 6 others still doing it. And it's about the control, it's about the power, it's about the money. And it's the East versus West. It's us versus China. Who's going to get there first? If we back out, China doesn't. And so it's not necessarily about complete annihilation. It is about who gets there first. And
right,
it was
I
the
just
same
don't
with the
think
nuclear.
that's a threat. It's like okay, fine. If you want to pursue technological excellence, and make the fastest, shiniest sewing machine, whatever, or mousetrap, great. Okay, knock yourself out, right? But can you get huge economic benefit from that? I'm sure you can. If you've got better photo manipulation software for Instagram or TikTok than anybody else, I'm sure loads of people will pay to use it. Do I give a shit about it? No. Do I think that actually poses an existential threat to humanity? No.
Well, you don't give a shit about it.
So it's not that I dispel the value and potential development of AI. It's that I just don't think it's a threat to the universe.
Okay.
Right? I get there's individual areas of exploitation, like the avatar, like the robots, like the potential deception of people that are elderly, that maybe someone's alive when they're not actually alive. I get that's not good, right? I'm not losing sleep about it, right?
So
I think a bigger issue, if you look at the legitimate uses of AI for an aging population, right, which are probably going to be in the medical support space, right? The problem with
companionship as well, even though you don't think it's good that they have their dead person talking to them, but actually in terms of Siri and Alexa, we're talking to them now, we're asking questions, can you do me this, can you remind me this, there's still some kind of interaction.
So I've seen stuff written about the Alexa and Siri uses. I've not had any luck with that ever. I can't even get Siri to call you.
No, I know.
I don't know why that is, but I've almost given up using that in the car.
Supposed to be good
I mean,
battery.
I've even sworn at Siri multiple times, and sometimes Siri then says it won't talk to me anymore.
Oh, because you swore at it too much. Really? Oh, that is bad.
But
Bad.
I've not had any luck. I can't get Siri to do shit. I can literally go, call Joe. No, that's too fucking hard. Call Joe, apparently. No. Who do you want to call? I want to call Joe. Like, how fucking hard is that? 2 words. Call Joe. Nothing. Absolutely sod all. But
Okay. So,
but what was I going to say? Oh yeah, right. So on the medical thing.
Yeah.
So if you're going to allow some kind of sensor-based device to try and work out, have you had your medicine this morning, blah, 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 you've got to let it know all about your medical history, obviously.
Yeah.
You've got to let it know about whatever your daily habits are, because it's got to try and work out, is this individual doing something they shouldn't be doing or not doing something they should have done, like they haven't taken their tablets at 2:30 and they're supposed to, right?
yeah.
That, I saw an article where somebody was talking about why they didn't use an Alexa-based sort of medicine reminder type of device. And it was actually a lady who was in her 70s, right? And she said, well, I don't want it. I don't want it to record the voices in the house because her husband had died, right?
Right.
She had decided subsequently that she was gay. And she then got a female girlfriend
Yeah.
in her 70s that her kids didn't know about. And she didn't want Alexa to realize that there was another woman in the house, right? Because she didn't want that information to be accessible to her daughter, who's trying to check in to make sure that her mum's all right, blah, blah. So, I mean, that's who saw that coming?
No,
no
one.
No one saw that coming, right? So that's an example where that particular individual said, no, I don't want to use this particular device to do this for me because I don't want it to know about what's going on in my house.
Interesting.
And it's like, well, okay, well, if you don't know what's going on in your house, it can't help you and it can't look after you. I mean, there's also a question of aging about, are any of these medical devices going to be of any use to anybody in older age groups? Because as we've seen with my parents before they passed away, we tried buying them an iPad just so they could actually communicate more easily with us when they were in trouble. They couldn't even work out how to turn it on.
No.
Even after I'd done the whole...
with Siri, isn't it?
I'd done the whole fingerprint thing with mum, and I was like, just put your finger here, it turns it on. And what do? They unplug it from the mains, They put it in a drawer, and then like the next time I go around, I go, Mum, where's the iPad? She goes, oh, we've got it. Oh, well, where is it? It's been in the drawer for a week, no charge. It's fucking dead. Well, that's no good. So, if you can't even get people to turn the devices on and have them plugged in, then I don't think my mum and dad could have used any form of technology to help them.
No. And so then that ties in with the change. It's like there's so much change. And do you think we get to a stage where we don't want to do it anymore and therefore we don't learn and we don't...
I do. You're much better than me.
Yeah, I am.
I can't believe how much you know about AI. No, seriously, because you've been using it for a year and a bit now.
Successfully, absolutely.
And you use it all the time.
I do.
How do you
do
that?
Well, I've
never even logged into ChatGPT. I wouldn't even know how.
This links in quite well to what we were talking about in the last episode about the happiness curve and that post 50 people are becoming more entrepreneurial. They're losing their jobs and they're going back in and they've got another 20 years of work to do. Okay. So ChatGPT, and I use Claude actually as well, and I find Claude a little bit more discerning at the moment because it challenges me. But ChatGPT I can use for all sorts of things, but it's all about how you prompt it as well, and you can use it. I mean, you can get images, you can get recordings, you can ask it for reports. And go into a deeper research on the reports. It's amazing. Yes, you need to challenge it. And I was talking to Claude the other day, and it did say to me, "Remember, I am AI. Remember, just double check everything," which I thought was great. Okay, fine, just go back and check the facts. But there's so much more than I mean, to start a business now using AI is really simple. You do the research, it does a PowerPoint, it can talk to you about where you get the money from, it can talk to you about how you find the groups, it can talk to you about how you do your marketing, it can help you with your marketing and help you build a website. It's immense if you use it properly.
So what, for 2026,
Yeah.
what are you intending to use AI for this year that you didn't use it for last year?
That's a good question. I genuinely don't know at the moment. So having relaunched myself as a podcast host, for this podcast, I use AI to do research on various subjects, on various people as well. And I also use AI to look at I can get show notes, I can get transcripts, I can get search engine optimization, and get the whole lot in AI. And that would have taken me or someone else a lot longer than it does. I can look at how to package my podcasts for sponsorship deals and who to approach and which companies are sponsoring older generational podcasts. And then in the other bit where I'm moving away from estate agency this year in 2026, I will no longer be an estate agent. I am offering podcast services to other people. I can then do massive amount of research on what I'm doing on those to hone down on areas that I didn't know about before. It's fabulous. It's like having a whole team of people work for you. So I don't need to employ as many people as I would have done 5-10 years ago, or even 2 years ago. So that's how I use it.
Okay.
How do you use it?
My commitment, or I don't use it at all, do I? Apart from the fact that when it writes meeting notes for me, which I don't like.
Which you don't like. Now that's interesting. You don't like them because they don't come from your perspective.
Yeah. So, but I mean, that's a political. See, that's a very subtle political thing, which is that history is written by the victor, or written by he who holds the pen. Yeah.
It's Churchill.
And therefore, if I'm writing some meeting minutes, I'm writing my version of reality.
Yeah.
I'm not really that interested in ChatGPT's version of reality because
write it from your point of view and from what you want to
we
do.
can't at work because it's not allowed in.
Oh,
so we've got pre-schooled
Copilot.
tools, right?
Yeah.
Because it can only have access to certain elements of data, right? And you can't let the corporate data out into the public.
No, you're absolutely right. And ChatGPT is an open source of AI.
But nevertheless, the point is, if you've got every meeting in the world has a political objective. So you're not having a meeting just for a laugh, right? Yeah. So you're there to further a political objective. You shape the minutes and the actions to further the objective.
Yeah, you can do that if you're not working in the corporate.
You can do that if you're writing it yourself. But anyways, no. So my takeaway commitment from this conversation then this year is going to be two things.
Go on.
One, to actually try to use the remaining productivity tools they've given us at work, which I haven't even bothered to bloody try.
And why not? Why have you not bothered?
Because I can't be arsed.
Is that an age thing or is that a change thing?
I think it's a change thing in a kind of a, how's it going to make my life? I don't get how it's going to make my life better. I really don't, right? It seems like a waste of fucking time, but whatever. But I will have a go. So I will have a go. Good. And I could be wrong because I'm sure there are other people who do try them and go, oh, it's great. But I'll have a go. So that's one commitment. And the other commitment is I will go on at least one AI training course at work this year. And maybe I'll end the year slightly less cynical, miserable bastard on the whole topic and maybe more open to it. But you are an inspiration.
Thanks.
And I'm nowhere near the level of openness that you are to experiment with these tools. So well done.
I think I'm going to end that there. Thank you. Thanks. I'll take that. So if you've got any views on AI, it'd be interesting to hear how you feel about it and what you think's coming, and also how you use it. But please don't forget to follow us, share us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, and we'll see you next week. Thanks.
And if you've got any topics you want us to talk about, please put them in the comments or DM us from the email address which is in the bio. Cheers. Thanks very much.